What does it mean to be unstoppable? Life has its many challenges, and with each challenge, we need to meet the need, your own personal needs, right? There's always going to be someone who's going to try to stand in your way, someone who's going to try to challenge you, someone who's going to try to compete with you. Now, I don't really see competition because I'm not competing with anyone. I'm just trying to get the message out. I'm trying to allow other people to to see things in a different way, from a different perspective. Just as when I go onto other people's platform, I am looking for inspiration, I'm looking for different things, and I try to inspire as well. However, there's so many different experiences that we've all had, so many different forms of growth. It's important that we look at this and we don't just always try to compete and challenge other people. Life has so many challenges within itself, doesn't it? Without us trying to make things harder for another individual. I live and let live. I strive to be the better person, and I strive to work at the goals in which I'm setting forth. Now, recently, I've had my own personal challenges. Some things I bring to the platform, some things I don't. However, sometimes people will have their camera on you and they will put your business out in the street. Fine. If a person chooses to do that, then they should also be prepared for when that happens to them. Because let's just be honest, again, karmically speaking, as I've said in the past, when you do things with ill intentions, when it comes back, it does not come back in a good way, okay? Unless it's something good that you're doing. You put something good out there, then you should expect good. You put something terrible out there, you have to expect those terrible things to come back to you. So it's important that we try to do best. Do what we see suitable for others. Or how about this? Why don't we give what we'd like to receive? That's even better, isn't it? There's always going to be some challenges that we're going to be met with. And we try to strive to come out of it in a good way. But sometimes when you're challenged, and you're going through so much, after a while you're like, I'm tired of it already. And I don't want any more of it. And maybe we might react in a way in which we might generally not. But sometimes it gets exhausting, when you're having to play into that same game of life, I'll say, which is an excellent book. I forgot who wrote it. You can look it up, The Game of Life and How to Play It. I think her name is Schimmel, last name. Either way, excellent book, and I probably need to reread it myself because it had a lot of excellent points, and her perspective is really absolutely wonderful. Excellent artist. Author. She's no longer around, but her books definitely bring truth in your mind and your experiences. Wonderful book. I also have to say, Felicia Rashad, one of the people that I look up to in the highest of regards, she said years ago, she said, she and her sister, they used to make plans or whatever, but she did not share certain business, her certain personal business. And I realized that she definitely made a great point with this. Years ago I was in high school and I liked this guy. And your girlfriends, how you get into your little groups and sometimes you talk. And I mentioned that I liked this guy. Well, it wasn't, a figment of my imagination that everybody seemed to like the same guy. When you keep things to yourself, certain things don't need to be shared. Some things, when you really like a person, you don't share certain things because sometimes people tend to try to ambush your program, so to speak. Now, all of a sudden, everybody likes him. Now, everyone's making their own personal play. Now, I understand all is fair in love and war, right? That might be the case, but certain wars you don't need to be a part of, So, there was one woman who really liked this guy, and she decided she was going to share this with her friends and family. Everyone had their own personal opinions. When people are sharing their personal opinions, sometimes that can be helpful. But you're just exploring right now. You don't really know exactly if you're going to like this person or not. That can work for you and it can work against you. I remember years ago I went into this neighborhood and I had friends and family who lived in the neighborhood. And I liked this guy and I shared that I liked him. Funny thing is, nobody told me about the person. Everyone knew about this person's, everyone knew about the person's reputation and it wasn't good. But no one shared this experience with me. No one shared these things, and I had to find out the hard way. Good thing is I learned great lessons that I will never forget. Bad thing is, if I had gotten a warning or two, perhaps I would have looked at it in a different way, and I would have probably explored the experience differently. Most important, we're not going to take anything from our journeys, because our journeys were meant, and our journeys were meant for us to learn so much from them. But on the sad side, when you look at family and friends, you do expect them to look out for your better interests. Sometimes that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it does. Regardless of, never forget that God is working through you in these experiences. So if they're meant for you to have them, embrace them as the journey continues, okay? That's been my word here at Indigo Moon. Please shine like that moon. Allow yourself, your own personal opinions, your personal experience to shine bright with whatever it is that you're enduring. And have a great day.